Hey YouTube, Kevin Clear here with a knife video. Today I'm going to do my most carried for March 2016. If you've been around for a while on the channel, you know that I used to, and I still had every intention of it, was just that I got too busy. But I like to do a most carried video about every 5 to 6 weeks. It's been, more like 8 to 10 weeks now. I think hopefully you guys will forgive me. And I will be honest, I have changed my EDC a little bit over that time. So there's sort of one block of knives that were in rotation for a while that are going to be missing from this whole most carried series. Anyway, I do have a bunch of knives here to show you, so I don't want to take too long, other than to say, if you're new, this is something I do because I've tried before to do a top 5 or top 10 video, and I just find that I can't do it. I'm too eclectic in my carry. So what I decided to do was, hey, I noticed that about every 5 weeks, my main EDC knives would kind of rotate or morph, so that, in this block of time, I'd be mostly carrying these knives, and then, a month and a half later, I'd be doing something quite different. So I started kind of tracking that, and once every month and a half or 6 weeks, once every 5 to 6 weeks, I would do a video of what I've been carrying the most. Okay, so that's what this is. Gives me a chance to talk about a bunch of different knives, a lot of which I've reviewed long ago, but I still love and really like to share with you guys. And it gives you guys a chance to see a bunch of knives, which I know people often enjoy. So let's go ahead and get started. First off, I got a couple of SOGs here, and I'm going to show them both to you. Just because I carry these both for about the same reason. These are both fairly large knives, or certainly large enough to do most of what I need to do, but they're extremely lightweight. So I carry these when I'm maybe exercising. I don't always, a lot of times what I mean by that is I may be exercising here at work. So I'll put on exercise clothes, but I'm still working and I'm still doing stuff around the church building. So I still want a knife with me. And a knife like this carries really nicely in like lightweight pants. You could even go jogging, and I have with a knife like this. But also at night when I'm walking the dog, a lot of times I'll wear kind of workout pants, not very heavy material. And a heavier knife, something like this, the Spyderco Manics 2XL, would not work. It'd be too uncomfortable. So something like this is more suitable to that. And I will say about both of these, I love these designs. I hate the lock, okay? I guess also I don't like the seatbelt cutter on the Trident Elite. Now, let me start with a knife that's kind of taking the place of these. This one I reviewed just a little while ago. This is the Spyderco Pacific Salt, and it's more lightweight than those knives and just as functional, and it doesn't have any blade play. So I've said before, but those SOGs, every SOG with an arc lock that I've seen has blade play, and it drives me crazy. So a lot of times I'll prefer this knife, and lately I've been carrying this one an awful lot in the exact same sort of scenario that I just described for those. So it's lightweight, it's extremely useful, nice to carry, in a lightweight pair of pants, or, obviously it's not summer yet, but you could carry this in shorts or a bathing suit very easily, and very, very handy. Or even when you're working around the house, if you get up on Saturday and throw on a pair of track pants, you're not going to put this in your track pants. It's going to be like someone tied an anchor around your waist. Something like this is much more comfortable. Now, you've already seen this, but here's another Spyderco, the Manics 2XL. This is a knife you'll always see it in these videos. It comes in and out of rotation quite often, because I literally, this is one of my favorite knives. I don't know, I love the size of it, I love the ergonomics, I love the ergonomics, it's just nearly perfect. And I love the versatility. This is a knife that can really do everything. I've got one other knife here that I think that I put in a similar role to this, okay? The Recon 1, it's large, it's heavy duty, as is this one. Now this is a little lighter, but again, the reason I like it is just so versatile, okay? And the Recon 1, even more so than the Manics, I find is a real standard, especially for the size of it. Whenever I kind of look at a tactical or combat knife, a knife that maybe the manufacturer is suggesting soldiers should carry into combat, I'm always going to compare it to the Recon 1, because the Recon 1 is tough as nails. It's extremely versatile. It's extremely lightweight for its size. And so, you know, I kind of, it becomes for me the standard by which all sort of combat or tactical knives are measured. And there are a lot of knives that cost 3 times more than this that will not perform as well in a real hard use situation. Okay, so the Recon 1, now this one, by the way, is the new CTSX HP. You remember a while ago I sold my original Recon 1 in AUS 8 for the sole purpose of upgrading to the CTSX HP. So that's now been done, and I did go with the clip point. I may do sort of a brief overview on this knife after a little while. Let's see, I've got one more Spyderco here before I know we kind of moved on from Spyderco, but this is the Gale Bradley 2, and this is a knife, I think I've got 2 knives here, maybe more. This knife was reviewed not that long ago. And I've got to say this, a lot of times after I review a knife, I'll take a break from it and be like, okay, I need to, you know, I've been carrying that thing almost every day for a month. Usually when I review a knife, I'll still carry other knives, but even for a part of every day, or if I'm going to do a particular cutting task, I'll be like, oh, I haven't done that with that knife. Better do that task with the knife I'm getting ready to review so I can, you know, speak to that usefulness in the review. So after I review a knife, I usually take a break for about a month from carrying it, but not this. This knife is, you know, it looks amazing. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably notice that this knife gets photographed with more frequency than the others, but it looks awesome. It's extremely functional. Okay, the hollow grind cuts like a dream. The M4 steel holds an edge beautifully. I've actually only had to strop this a few times. I've never sharpened it. Absolutely amazing knife. I think a real win for Spyderco. And if you're a Spyderco fan and don't have one, I would highly, highly recommend it. Even if you're not a Spyderco fan, I've got to say I think this is a knife that has one of the broadest, you know, outside the Para 2, which I know is wildly popular, and I will do a comparison between this and the Para 2. I would say this knife probably has the broadest appeal. I think almost anyone who likes knives would like this. All right. Moving on, I've got a little guy here. This has not been reviewed yet, and so I'm carrying it primarily for review. This is the Zero Tolerance 0808. I really like this knife, and my biggest issue with it is it's just too small. I rarely carry it on its own, so when I do carry this knife, and I've been carrying it quite a bit because I want to do a review of it, and I've got to tell you, I love it. You know, it flips well, it's comfortable. This is one of the funnest knives I've ever seen to just play with, you know, to flip open and closed. Everything, it's smooth as silk, it's rock solid in the lockup. The blade shape is useful and extremely attractive. There are a lot of things to really like about this knife. It's just the size. So I will review it, and it'll be generally a positive review, but I've got to say this, if Zero Tolerance would come out with this knife in a 4-inch blade, it would be like a dream come true for me, okay, because I love this knife other than it's just too small. So probably this is one that won't stay in my collection forever. I'm really enjoying it right now, but likely I will look to trade this out for a larger knife at some point down the road. Since we're doing Rexford designs, let's pick up the 804. This is, of course, a new knife from Zero Tolerance. This one, and I will say, I really like all of the ZTs this year. There's a couple that I probably won't pick up. Number one, I probably won't do the 0095 because it's so close to the Custom Knife Factory, whatever Custom Knife Factory knife I'm thinking of, that I would get that knife instead. The other one is the 0909. Now, I love both of these knives from ZT, but I recently picked up a Les George Talos, which the 909 is based on, so I probably won't get one. If I know someone who has one, or if you have one, I'd love you to send it to me and I'll compare them. That would be a cool video to do, but I don't think I'll buy one for that reason. So this one and the 0220 will probably be the ones that I actually try to buy. The other one, the Zero, I'm trying to think of what it is, the small Sinkovich knife, I probably will skip, again, because of the size of it. But this knife, I love it. You know, this is a knife, you can carry it in jeans, you can carry it with a suit. It's not noticeable at all. I've carried this a lot of times on Sunday when I'm preaching, and because it's all black, if you're wearing gray pants or black pants, people won't even notice. The clip on this, I've got to comment on the clip. Every time I get this knife out, I think to myself, you know, this is how milled clips should be. This is one of the very few. Now, it's not the only. There are a couple others that I would mention, but this is a milled clip that works like a spring clip. It's really, really good in and out of pocket, which is awesome. And many people, you guys have heard lots of reviewers complain about milled titanium clips. They look awesome, but they don't work as well as a spring clip. Since we're on that theme, let me pull out the other knife that fits that role. This clip is amazing. It's extremely comfortable. It works beautifully. And even though it's a milled titanium clip, it functions as well as, and even better than some spring clips. Also, you gotta admit, guys, this knife is absolutely gorgeous. I think this is Riat Knives' best effort to date. And even the knives that have come out since then, I think there's the Event Horizon and maybe one other one, I don't think they're as good as this. This thing is just, you know, it's comfortable, it's beautiful, it's functional, really, really great knife. And even on days that I don't carry this, I'll often pick it up and flip it a few times. Let's see, what have we got here? Let's do this one next. This is the Southern Tulk. Since we're kind of in the higher end stuff, let's get the Ferox as well. Both of these are knives that they'll always be in my carry rotation. They're just too good. This, I would say, is one of the best sort of hard use overbuilt knives that I've ever seen. This is one of the best all around. You know, I would say size, weight, blade shape, usefulness, quality. This is literally, you know, this sets a standard as far as I'm concerned that even Chris Reeve knives don't necessarily hit. Sometimes they do, but this is an extremely good knife, nearly perfect. Okay, now, I gotta say this, guys, while I'm talking about these two knives, often when I do reviews of these knives, you guys are not that into it. And I think I get it, you know, I'm with you. I don't want to necessarily watch a knife video of a knife that I would never buy. Okay, so yeah, I don't watch a lot of, you know, Jim Skeleton's, you know, $3,000 custom knives. The odd time I'll watch one, especially if it's from a maker I really like, but I don't watch every single one. And probably you guys are the same. You know, I know that if I do a video on a knife like this or a knife like this, it's more popular. Even a knife that comes in around the $40, $50 range, you guys really love that. More so than the higher end stuff. And that's fine, right? To each his own. I like some of those higher end knives. You know, I don't have the budget to afford all the ones that I like, but the ones I get, I really appreciate, and I will spend more time usually on those videos as well. Here's another one that I've been carrying lately, and this will be for a review. This is the H9 Taken from Real Steel. I'm really impressed with what Real Steel has done. They've got a number of cool designs, and I think this knife, for me, has some significance because a lot of the knives that Real Steel has done have been pretty safe. Okay, they're pretty well the size that most people like to EDC. They're the blade shape that's going to be widely popular. This is a bit of a departure. Okay, this is a knife that's going to have people with a very select taste are going to be into this knife. And so I like that they've kind of done that and taken a bit of a risk with this. Overall, this will be a positive review. There are a couple little things that I feel like are issues with it, but again, I'm really liking carrying and using this knife. So there you go, guys. Those are the knives that I've been carrying mostly for the month of March and a little bit before. Okay, we're probably kind of February, March. We'll probably do another one of these videos the end of April or early May. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will talk to you soon.